So hello everyone. Welcome to our weekly team call. I am really excited about tonight. You guys all saw my post, but we are doing something a little bit different this week. And this will be something that kind of going forward, we will start to implement once a month. And it is a Emerald in 24 hours call. But I think it's great, even if you're already an Emerald coach and you're on this call, it's just one of those things that's honestly a constant reminder in this business. And it's good to, even if you're, a diamond coach or you're a 1-star diamond coach or a 2-star diamond coach, like just continuing to always think of it as always pushing for emeralds. And we'll dive into that in just a little bit. But I'm excited to kind of chat with you guys about this tonight. Like all great things, this was not my idea. I once heard a quote where someone was basically talking about how all great pieces of art, like, were inspired by something. And so this was inspired by another coach and several coaches that I've seen doing Emerald in 24 hours calls. But they're really great, especially for some brand new coaches, hopefully, that are catching their recording or watching here live tonight, because a lot of people hear that and they think, oh yeah, I want to become an Emerald coach, but they really have no idea like what that even looks like. They're like, yeah, that sounds great, but what is Emerald? And so tonight we're going to just kind of break down like what does it mean to be an Emerald coach and why going for Emerald and pushing for Emerald really does help kind of just kickstart your business. I know for me, it took me a while to like get to Emerald, and I always think back and think what would have happened in my business if I just started kind of pushing myself outside of my comfort zone a little bit sooner. And I would really say, even though I've been in the business for 4.5 years, like I've been really actively working it for the past 2 years. And if I would have started a long time ago, just getting myself out of my comfort zone, it would have made a massive difference. So all that to say, basically, being an Emerald coach, it doesn't matter if you have been a coach for a day, if you've been a coach for a year, like wherever you're at, Emerald is kind of just that first ranking in the business. And so basically becoming an Emerald coach is essentially having one coach on each leg of your business. So obviously we are a multi-level marketing company, and that just basically means that there are different like levels. It essentially works like legs in your business. And so underneath of each of you guys, including myself, including my upline, we all have a right leg and a left leg. And basically that right leg, in order to hit Emerald, you need to have one coach on your right leg and one coach on your left leg. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about your weak leg and your strong leg. And basically what that means is your strong leg is the leg that you come off of from your coach. And so for me, for instance, I am Amy texted me. So my strong leg is my right leg, and my right leg, like, let me just double check that I'm not like, okay. Amy said I keep cutting out. Am I cutting out for everybody? Oh, okay. That's not good. Hang on, guys. We may have to take 2 on this. Let me connect to some other Wi-Fi really quick. Okay. All right. Is that better for everybody? No. Okay, cool. Thanks, Caitlin. Keep me posted on the chat, in the chat box if you can. If I start freezing up, let me know. So essentially an Emerald coach is having, I'm just going to kind of back up a little bit, but being an Emerald coach basically means you have one coach on each leg. And so as you grow your business, obviously the next ranking is Diamond, and that is having 4 people on each leg, and one of those people on each leg being an Emerald coach. And so here's the thing, guys, like getting to Emerald is not scary. And I think a lot of times we get into this business and it's like, oh, this ranking, and oh, I want to get to Emerald, and oh, I want to get to Diamond, and it just feels super overwhelming. And we kind of make it a mountain in front of us. And that is what I did for so long. I held myself back for so long in this business because I looked at these rankings as just these scary things. If anybody heard Erin's call this week, she kind of talked about how she finally got to a place where she realized that, like, hey, I can sign up discount coaches. Like, there are other things that I can do to get into diamonds that are going to help just give me momentum. And that is what Emerald does. Emerald is important because it's that first stepping stone in the business. It's an opportunity for people to say, oh, like, she's actually working this. She actually wants to grow her team. And it's an opportunity for you to just start to see like a small success. A lot of times we all just need that, right? Like, when it's kind of like when you first sell your first challenge pack, it's like, oh, yes, I can do this, you know? It's just this like really exciting moment because someone just said yes to you, you know? And it just gives you that momentum. Or maybe it's even just signing someone up on Beachbody On Demand, or maybe it's just selling them like a quarterly package that you only make $10 off of, but it's like, oh, you know, I can do this. Or on Instagram or whatever, you get one like or a couple comments and you're like, yes, someone commented on a post. You know, it's those small victories. And that's what Emerald does for us. If you're listening to this call and you're already an Emerald coach, these are things that you need to be telling your coaches on your team, is that becoming Emerald is a really big deal because it gives you momentum in the business. And so if you've got coaches on your team, you need them to feel that. You need them to want to push for that, because it doesn't take much to get to Emerald, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, okay, Caroline, that's cool. Like, get to Emerald, have a coach in my right leg and a coach in my left leg. What is the opportunity with Emerald? So basically, once you become an Emerald coach, Beachbody will, once you're an Emerald coach and you're an active coach, so obviously getting 50 PV a month, which I will mention 50 PV can be Recover's 52 PV. It can be Shakeology, which is 90 PV. It can be, 2 things of Energize. Like, however you want to look at it, there's a lot of different ways that you can get PV. You can even buy workout clothes now and get PV for that. So as long as you are making sure that every month you are getting that 50 PV. But you want to make sure you're getting the 50 PV and that you are an Emerald coach. When you do those 2 things, Beachbody, basically what they do is, if I'm someone who's sitting at home and it's 2 a.m. and I'm eating a donut on the couch and I see an infomercial for Shailene Johnson's Turbo Fire workout, and I call the number and I'm like, I need to get that because I have an issue and I need to lose all this weight, but I'm eating a donut right now, whatever. So they call, they get connected to Beachbody, they buy a challenge pack or they buy a program, they're automatically placed with a coach. And so what happens is that when you're an Emerald coach, you start to get those leads from Beachbody. And if you're an Emerald coach and you're not getting those, then you need to look into it, because it's a huge opportunity to start to really get some momentum. You don't make commission off of those people's first purchase, because obviously you didn't do anything. They just got placed with you. But you reach out to them, you ask them if they want to be plugged into your challenge group. And a lot of times those people, they're going to stay under you if you're really, someone's going on. If you're really pouring into them, they're going to stay with you and you can start to coach them. And so I have people who legit, I got through the Emerald Success Club program or lead program, and they have been underneath of me for 4 years buying Shakeology once a month, and I'm making $30 every month when they buy Shakeology, and they've literally been on there for 4 years, and I can't even get the people to reply back to my emails. Like, it's kind of crazy. Michelle says she has someone like that as well, who literally has been buying Shakeology for 10 years. Like, I think it was like since it launched, so whenever that was, but a long time. And this person still won't reply to her messages. And she's like, okay, well, I guess you just really love Shakeology, but I want to help coach you. But that's what can happen. If you guys did not hear the news, Michelle posted it in the Team Iron page. I think it was last week. But a lot of you may know this, some of you may not if you're new, but in the past, Beachbody has had Team Beachbody, right? And that's like the coaching network. And then there's been Beachbody.com. Beachbody.com has traditionally been like a separate part of the business. So Beachbody for a long time kind of just looked at it as 2 ways. This is our coaching network. This is Beachbody.com. So when people were calling or purchasing a program, they were getting placed with a coach, but they were falling underneath Beachbody.com. They weren't like going through the coaching network at all. A lot of times they weren't placed in a challenge group. So just last week, or 2 weeks ago, Beachbody announced that they're going to be closing down Beachbody.com and doing everything through the coaching network, which for us is a really big deal. And so now more than ever is the time to push for Emerald, because there's going to be way more leads coming through those programs. And again, that's just literally Beachbody saying, here's customers, like, go help them get results. And if that person buys Energize next month or stays on their home direct Shakeology, then you're going to continue to get the commission from that. So getting to Emerald is really important because you start to get those leads. The second reason it's important is getting to Emerald is you're going to start to get team cycle bonuses. Now, it's not going to be a lot in the beginning, because your coaches underneath of you may be your spouse and your best friend, or your mom and your best friend, whatever, or one coach who you have who's a discount coach. But you're going to start to see kind of how you can start making money through that, because essentially for every 300 in volume, you get one bonus. So, you know, it may be only $15 one week, but essentially, like down the road, if you could be getting 30 of those in 1 week, and that's a lot more money. So it starts to really compound on itself. And as an Emerald coach is when you start to get those team cycle bonuses. So those are just like the small perks, not small, but like the initial perks to why hitting Emerald is so important. And so let's talk about like strategically, like how could you actually get to Emerald in 24 hours? So there's a couple of different ways. Number one, you could reach out to your family and friends. You could say, hey, I just launched this business. I really want to get things going. Would you be up for signing up as a coach and buying home direct Shakeology and kind of being my first customer? I want to really help you. Maybe you can be my first like before and after or progress photo from these challenge groups. That's a really great way for you to like to start to build your business, to have some people that you can say, you know, I'll use Amy as an example, like your sister-in-law has been one of your first challengers. And even with just Lift 4, she lost, 15 pounds? Like, and so being able to show her progress photos and say like, hey, this is a mom who has 4 kids, who a set of like 2 of those are twins. So she's had twins. She's, has 4 children. She's got a lot going on. And yet she is committed to this journey and this program, and look at the results she got. And so while she's not necessarily signed up as a coach, like that could be an example of signing up someone as a coach and being able to have them as like your first progress photo. A lot of times I hear from coaches, and I said this myself, so guilty as charged. I was like, I don't want to reach out to my friends and family because I didn't want to make them feel like they needed to get fit and healthy. Does that make sense? I was very against that. And looking back now, though, I wish I would have, because I feel like I almost put a wall up there because I didn't talk about it for so long with them, that now it's kind of like I have to tear down the wall and try to start back from the beginning, if that makes sense. Whereas if I would have just gone to them and said, hey, I've started this business. I really want you to be a part of it. I mean, think about it, guys. If you opened a restaurant, would your parents come eat at your restaurant? Yeah, they would. If you opened a boutique, if you opened any kind of like brick and mortar, they're going to be the first people that are there. But a lot of times, because this is health and fitness and it's very sensitive, and on top of that, you add in that it's multi-level marketing, like we get so weird about it because it is like different people have different opinions on network marketing companies. And a lot of times they don't even actually know anything about Beachbody, but they think negative things about it because they just think that we're out to make a sell. And then you add on the layer of health and fitness, and automatically it's gonna be more awkward, right? But you've got to think about it like if you were building a brick and mortar business, this is a business. And so to ask them like, hey, do you mind supporting me? I'll just keep out, if you just don't mind signing up to be a coach for maybe the next month or 2, until I can get someone else in that spot. So that is always an option just to think about is, who your best friend, like whatever. My best friend signed up when I first started the business. I put her on one leg and I put Brian on another leg. I have worked Brian's business the whole time. So I signed him up in the very beginning so that he was at the top of my downline. And now, I mean, week in, week out, we're making $400 to $500 just through his account, just because he's at the top of my downline. And so he is on my weak leg. And so my strong leg has a ton of volume, and I'll tell you guys why. It's because Amber Kuiper, who is like number 14 in the business, is on my strong leg. She falls after my strong leg because she's also under Michelle Myers. And so I'm getting all this volume from her. And so for me, I have to just basically focus on building my weak leg, because the volume on that leg is already there, and I can get as many team cycle bonuses as I want as long as I'm building that leg. So anyways, long story short, I put Brian there. And so I have put my second CBC underneath of him. I've put tons of coaches under him to where I'm getting that volume. So so basically what's happening in my business every week is that my second CBC is getting a bonus. He's getting a bonus. And then, so we have 3 checks coming in from Beachbody, but it's really like helping us just expand how much money we're making. And so all of that to say, because like if I'm selling a challenge pack, I send it through my second CBC. And so that volume, so like say it's 160 in volume. So, you know, I sell it through that second CBC, then he gets a team cycle bonus from that, and then I get a team cycle bonus in my main account. And so instead of making like $40 off of a challenge pack, I'm making like, you know, 60 or 70. And so while in the beginning it was a sacrifice to sign him up, because you have to pay the $40 fee and then you have to keep them active and pay the $15 a month, in the long run, it makes a huge difference. So it's just, that's also something that I really like to make sure people are aware of, because you can't just go back and add your spouse to the top of your downline. Like once you start to add coaches, he's going to be down at the bottom. So if you have a Patrice, you know, sign up, you know, because Patrice is killing it. If you have someone like Patrice or a rock star coach who signs up, you might miss out on some of those opportunities, just to see, you know, your finances grow in a really easy way. So that is also something to think about. So literally, if you signed up your best friend and your spouse, or if you don't have a spouse, maybe, you know, your mom or someone else, who you said, hey, do you mind if I run your account and kind of make you just like an extension of myself? There's a girl who is a top coach, and she wasn't married at the time, and so she signed her brother up and just like used his account. And then what she did is she just kind of used that as a second business. But once she started to kind of get some leeway going, then he just canceled his account and she replaced him with someone else. So that's something to always think about, is like, so for me with my best friend, when I first hit Emerald, I told her, I was like, look, I just need you to sign up for like a month. Like, let me just get my bearings, get some coaches, start to sign up some discount coaches. And so knowing that I needed to, like, because she's my friend, I was like, okay, I got to hustle because I don't want her to have to pay the $15 next month, you know? So what I did was it put a fire under my butt to get some more coaches signed up. So once I had someone else that could kind of be in that spot, then I just, you know, canceled her account and that person was there and I kept my Emerald status. But, you know, that way she didn't feel pressure to have to order Shakeology every month or something like that. But that's just something to think about as well. So that's a really easy way that you get yourself to Emerald and you start to kind of see some momentum in the business. Any questions, guys? Like, let's talk about it. If anyone has like any questions or feedback, I know that I posted a video, or Erin did a video. I'm almost done. Sorry, child's freaking out. Erin posted a video just about getting discount coaches, which is really great idea. Basically what she does is that when someone signs up and they want to purchase a challenge pack, she just says, very similar to if you guys are familiar with any kind of like oil companies or any companies that do a preferred customer, they're basically signing you up as a quote unquote what we call a coach or a distributor whenever you purchase their starter kit. And basically when she's reaching out to people, or whenever she's talking to people and they're going back and forth, she says, hey, I went ahead and signed you up to be a coach so that next month, if you stay on Shakeology, you'll get 25% off. You will pay a $15 fee, but it's still going to save you money. Yes, Tara said that she has to call it preferred customer, especially if they are continuing shakes. Exactly. So if there's someone who's going to stay on Shakeology every month, it's worth it for them to sign up to become a coach because they're only paying $15 a month to be a coach. Like, which, by the way, that's like really good compared to a lot of other companies. I have several friends who do other companies and they have to spend $100 a month and it's, or whatever. So if $15 a month is not bad. And then they're saving 25% on Shakeology. So they're getting their money back and still saving like $20. So that's a really easy way to, if they're planning on staying on it, then to keep them on. So that is also something to think about. Caitlin said that's really smart. Love it. Couldn't be a sell to someone that you want them at the top of your leg so that as you grow more coaches, they will see benefits from that too. Can it be a sell? Yes, exactly. So, sorry, kind of like misread that first, but actually funny because Amy Silverman, who has been I think she's a number 2 coach the past like 4 years in Beachbody, which I love her. She cusses a lot, so just beware if you like follow on Instagram or something, but she's super funky and just like really cool. But she did this thing where she called it the golden egg opportunity. And so she made like these videos on YouTube and basically talked about like she drew it out on a dry erase board and was like, this is the opportunity because she was opening a second CBC. So basically for those of you who are like, what is a second CBC? So when you hit 2-star diamonds, you get to open up, you basically get to duplicate yourself, like, which is what we all want to do, right? We're all like, how come I can't find the coach who is like me, who works hard? Like, that's what we all think. Well, you basically get to do that when you go 2-star. So this past year, I got to open up my second CBC. And what you get to do is you get to open a second business center and you can place it anywhere in your downline. So for me, I placed it at the very bottom. That way that all that volume could go up. And I placed it down there. And so what she did was when she was launching her second CBC, she called it that golden egg opportunity because she told them, she's like, I am going to recruit rockstar coaches. And so if you sign up at the top of this, there's going to be rockstar coaches and you're going to make a lot of money just from being above them. Yeah, above them. So I thought that was a really good idea. You can probably look it up on YouTube where she talks all about it and she explains it really well. But that's a really good way, Caitlin, exactly what you said, to sell people on it. Especially when you get to that point as well. And especially if they know that you're really serious about the business and that you're going to really help them, which I totally know you're going to do. So I think that's a great way to spin it as well. Any other questions? Aaron, anything or Amy, Lauren, are you Emerald? I think you are. No, you're not? Okay, I thought you were. I always, when Patrice announced that you would just become a coach, I was like, I thought she became a coach a long time ago. Oh, you're muted. Hang on. Okay, what did you say? Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I was, but I was just a discount coach. I never learned anything about the business, never did any of that. And so I'd been following Patrice for a long time and I was like, hey, can I be one of your challenge groups? She's like, well, to do that, you need to do this. So I'd prayed about it for a while. And then I was like, I just kept feeling connected to her. So I was like, so I did the whole switcheroo thing to be with her. So it's been good. And, I would love for my sister to join us. You actually know her.
I know.
But you guys talk on Facebook.
What's up, Caroline?
Yeah. So,
hey, little friend.
She was like, I want to say, hey, is that okay? And I was like, hold on a second.
Yes. We were literally just talking on Instagram earlier. So
that's what she said. She's like, tell her the connection. Yeah. So we've just watched you for a while.
I knew that because y'all look so much alike. I was like,
that's what people say.
I knew that y'all were sisters and everything.
Nice. Oh yeah, you can't hear. What? She said she knew that we looked alike, so she knew the connection.
Well, here we are.
There we are. So anyways, to answer your question, no. But so that's why this is the first time that I've ever tried to soak up all of the info.
Totally.
So some of it's overwhelming, but that's okay. I know with time, it'll all make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's the thing too, is, there is so much information, but you just have to take it one thing at a time. And it's just what are the important stuff? And that's what you got to really focus on is like, obviously number one, taking care of yourself, making sure you're part of the product and just like focusing on your own journey and then helping other people. And this is an opportunity at the end of the day. If you think about it, it's just an opportunity to also help other people. I personally like coaching has honestly like coaching coaches is honestly my favorite part of the job now or of coaching. And I hate saying that because I do love my challengers, but like this is a community. Like these are like, you guys are my people. Like you actually like, you know, show up when you're supposed to, you know? And so like sometimes with challengers, it's just like, I mean, you know, girl, I'm dragging you, you know what I'm saying? But it's just fun to have like this coaching team and the community and just to get to know everybody. And it's great. I love it. Okay. Aaron or Amy. So you guys are both at Emerald. Do either of y'all have any just like things that you've learned along the way? Just things like, I feel like it's just good for people to hear from people who've been there and who've done it and who've or continue to grow their teams. Any chance either? Aaron, do you want to share?
Oh. Yeah, I can.
Perfect. Oh, wait, hang on. You got unmuted. Oh, muted, I mean.
Oh.
There we go. We're good.
Okay. Okay. The biggest thing that I want to emphasize is like, when I signed up, I was like, oh, Emerald is such a big deal. And I psyched myself out too, like you did, Caroline. And it's really not. And once you hit Emerald, you kind of feel like, okay, I can do this. You know, like this is real. So it's really just like what you said, Caroline. It's just like solidifying that you're going to do this and you're going to, you know, build this business. So it's really just a great like mental state to be in, where you like kind of have a groove of what you're doing and how to talk to people. And so yeah, just don't psych yourself out because it's not a huge deal, but it's really great like once you get there because you do see some momentum going. So
totally agree. And I think
it
helpful? Helps too because then you get like recognition and, you know, I mean, I don't want to surprise you guys, but but like I'll post on your Facebook wall or like, you know, do shout outs to you guys like for hitting certain rankings and like even just family and friends seeing that on your like show up. Like it sounds silly, but those sorts of things start to get people like, oh, she's actually doing this. You know what I mean? Amy, anything you want to share? Do you mind sharing? Or is your child asleep? I'm unmuting you, so hang on. There we go.
There, okay. My brain is really just done because I've busted you this week, so I'm back to waking up at 4:15. So I'm just, you know, in my bed, legitimately in my bed, trying to stay awake. But I will say, like, I hit Emerald, and then the next week I got 2 more coaches after that. So, like, I felt like it took forever for me to get those 2 coaches, and then the next week there were 2 more coaches. And I was like, wait, what? How did that happen? Like, the other 2 just came so quickly after that. So, and then I've just kind of been surviving the last 2 weeks, and I'm about to jump right back in.
Yeah. So. Well, yeah, exactly. And I think that's a great point. It's just that it's just kind of that foot on the pedal a little bit to try to start to get some momentum in your business for sure. And I know some of you are probably thinking to yourselves, like, I'm going to put you back on mute, Amy, as we wrap up the call really quick. But I know some of you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, well, you know, I just started. I haven't even gotten challengers yet for the challenge group, you know. But I just consider Emerald and consider, like, is there a situation where you can sign your husband up on that weak leg and get someone on that other leg who's kind of your first challenger? And don't be afraid. Like, I sent messages out when I first started to really good friends and said, hey guys, you know, I have launched this business and it's really scary, but I'm really excited. And I really just want to like kind of have a first little group of people that I walk through this journey with. I know Amy did this, and we'll talk more about this at another time, but just about free groups. But kind of finding some people that you can go ahead and like start to work with them, and kind of get some momentum going to where it's like helping them start to get some progress. Caitlin, your hand is raised.
So, funny enough, quick question. So you keep mentioning challengers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about challengers, because in my mind, I'm only thinking about coaches. So, I like totally forgot about the other half of the business. But would you say that it's more important to focus on challengers or coaches, or always just try to have a balance of both?
At the end of the day, challengers are your bread and butter, right? Like, we don't have health and fitness businesses if we don't actually help some people, getting fit and healthy. But if you want to see, like, in order to coach your coaches, you have to know how to run challenge groups and that sort of thing. And so I would say it kind of becomes one of those things, especially when you kind of start to grow your business, where it's kind of like challengers become this thing right here, but over here you're like coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, where challengers are kind of like, all right, like, I got this down a little bit. Like, you're constantly having to recruit those people, because sometimes your challengers become some of your best coaches, because what happens is that they get amazing results, and then they love Beachbody, and they're like sold out Beachbody. And so they become really amazing coaches. So it's kind of, I would say, but at some point too, like where I'm at, just to be totally honest, is like 75% here and 25% here. But in the beginning, I would say it's a little bit more like probably 75% here and 25% here.
Gotcha.
But as your business starts to grow,
Yeah, that's good to know. I think just because I come from the world of coaching for so long, that's on my mind, but that's so good to focus on the other.
Yes, exactly. And if you already and I just think it happens differently for everyone. Sometimes it's just based on, like, on this call right now, I look at it and I think, Amy became a coach after getting amazing results. Like, Erin became a coach and she just signed right up, kind of like you did. So there's kind of no one like perfect way, if that makes sense, because everyone has kind of different backgrounds. So you may be a type of person who, because you come from coaching and being in the fitness industry so long, you may already have a pool of people who want to jump on board with coaching. And the challenger aspect is more like, you start to do it, but you've already been doing it for so long in a way, even though it wasn't necessarily Beachbody. So it's just going to be different for everyone. But that's a great question.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any questions? Awesome. Well, I am going to, Lauren, did you have a question?
I was just going to say, this is super helpful.
Good. I'm so glad.
I'm like taking all these notes, so it's really helpful. So thank you.
Good. Absolutely. And I will post a recording for you girls who do have downlines and people on your team, like tag your people, because I definitely think this is something that we need to start doing more. We talk about rankings and we talk about that stuff a lot. And while it's not our focus necessarily, it's what's going to start to help grow your business. So I'm cheering you guys on. And if you have any questions, if you want to brainstorm, if you want to talk, let me know. But like I said, I'll post this recording tonight for you guys, so you can go back and reference anything you'd like. Thanks everybody for being on. Have an amazing night.